All right, everybody, we are on to 1.7. Not as much math stuff to do, more some conceptual things that you need to know when it comes to 1.7. And the first thing is what makes a function a function. So we would be talking about what we see in questions 2, 3, and 4. So let's talk about those real quick. So in order for something to be a function, all of the domains can only have one number that they go with in the range. In other words, every x has to have just one y. No x values can repeat. So that looks one of three ways. So with a list of ordered pairs like we have in number 2, it means that the x value, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6. Okay, none of those repeat. So then, yes, that is a function. Notice, it's okay that there's repeating y values, but it's the x values. So then we look at number 3. Does this table represent a function? Well, we look at our domain, and we see that there is a 2 and a 2. That means there's a repeating domain. So no, it's not a function. Lastly, visually, this is what we call the vertical line test. The vertical line test says that if I'm going to say this is a function, there can only be one time that a vertical line crosses through the graph. So if I can draw a vertical line anywhere and it crosses 1, 2, 3, 4 times, then that's not a function. That's a problem for us. So that one's not going to work. So we're going to say no, that is not a function. Okay, we're going to let that guy slide up the page. And then there's going to be a verbal explanation. So is the situation a function? A waitress wants to calculate the amount of tips she earned each shift at table 8. And so really what we're looking for is there a cause and effect relationship. So in other words, does she earn more tips at table 8 than others? Is there a relationship? And so yes, this describes a relationship. So that's a yes. If there wasn't a relationship, it would be no. All right, so we're going to jump all the way back because there's 2 other types of problems that are really straightforward. It says use the function rule f of x equals x squared. So let's go over to Desmos. And instead of typing this whole thing in, we're just going to type x squared in. X squared. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see this graph. Okay. So it wants to know what is the value at 2.5. So I'm going to type 2.5 here. I'm going to type x equals 2.5. And then we're going to go and we're going to see, oh, and look, they cross right here. And you see they cross at 2.5, 6.25. So the x is 2.5 and the 6.25 is the y. And so that's why that's the answer. That's all you have to do. So go jumping down to the very bottom. We have another expression. 2x to the third. 2x to the third minus, I should have typed a 3, not a 2, minus 3x squared plus 4. And instead of, they want negative 2. They want to know what is when negative 2 is the x. So we're going to go change this to negative 2. Oh, and look, the line moved so that it's over negative 2. And we're going to zoom out until we find where they intersect, or somewhere down here. Oh, there it is. Negative 2 and negative 24. And so there's my answer right there. So that's it for 1.7. So you guys make sure you answer that and submit it. And then we will move on to the next lesson here in a minute.